I would describe Earl as the leader of our family. Our father passed away when we were all in high school. And so Earl, which he had done all his life, took care of us and was responsible for all of us. Earl had to grow up fast. As we were growing up, we experienced homelessness and poverty, and Earl was always working, always had a job, bringing money home to the family to make sure we all had food and taking care of our mom and taking care of all of his brothers and his sister. I remember some of his friends describing Earl to me that he was a man and an adult when we were all still kids in high school. The apartment we were living in, a contractor was paving a little road there. It was no more than 200 yards and maybe 15, 20 feet wide. And Earl at that time was either in the 6th grade or 7th grade, and he found it fascinating. Well, the contractor's getting behind on the job, and they're bringing in, of course, the hot asphalt, and they can't lay it down quick enough. So one of the owners of the company yells out, "Well, how about getting the kid over there watching us on the roller?" So they put Earl on a roller at, again, age 11, 12, and he's driving that roller up and down on the pavement of the hot asphalt paving that road. And then he was hired working for those contractors, and that's where really his career started in the construction trades. It was Vintage Enterprises at that time, and Helga Bruckner and his partner Whitney Gilman were the ones paving it. And Earl would never let me forget to remember, he said, "Yeah, get the little kid over there, he's watching a lot, let's put him to work."
The company evolved through 1994, and I was wondering who is this guy, who's coming on to our job and wanting to tell me what to do and how to do what I thought I knew how to do. We were grading the road. He jumped on a 672 grader, and he just kind of showed me what was what, and you know, I grew respect from him from that, you know, right there, right from that day. Teaching and being there, being our mentor. He was a huge mentor to everybody. And back in '94, the company started growing, and we started gaining more foremen, more workers. Just grew and adapted to what he was teaching us.
A story that comes to mind that I've told, I don't know, 100 times is we were paving Highway 12. We were doing a turn lane on Highway 12, and we had to grind out the rumble strip to restripe it, temporarily restripe it to scoot traffic over. And we had a certain amount of time to get off the highway, and we were doing it the archaic way. It was skid steers and grinders and side dump buckets, and we were running out of time. That old guy shoveled with me for, I think we were on the road for 12, 15 hours, and I swear I was going to out-shovel him. I was just a young kid. I was maybe 25, 26, and I was determined to just outwork this old dude, and I swear to you, he didn't miss a lick. And so when it comes to hands-on, he was the first to help out if you needed it, and was really what made me respect that guy a lot.
And they were partners for a while, and then ultimately Earl decided he had his vision of where he saw the company going and what he wanted to do with the company and develop the company, and he did that.
He went in, made some changes, agreed with John to do a buyout, and John wanted to retire, Benward, and it worked out.
Earl was an owner of a company that I think most people wish they had, because he not only called the shots and signed the checks, but he did the work next to us.
He never forgot people who had less than him. He always had tremendous compassion and kindness, and we got that from our parents, that no matter where you were at your stage in life, You never forgot the obligation and responsibility that you had to others. And anyone who ever took a ride with Earl in his truck would always know Earl would say, hold on for a minute, I got to stop here. I got to pull over and talk to this guy, which was a shorthand code of Earl was stopping to check in on somebody and help him out, whatever that meant. Shelter, food, money, a job, that Earl always had that ability to always consider others.
I know during 2008, he did so much personally and financially that to keep this company afloat that we still to this day probably have no idea what he did.
Back in the recession, we did take some major cutbacks. Earl kept the crews together by finding jobs for them to do just off the side in the shop, keep them busy, rotating crews through the shop.
He kept the doors open. He had work for us. Right? I don't think Earl ever slept, to be honest with you. If he did, it was very minimal.
Earl had a way of bringing calmness to very tense situations. And I know both as his brother, but also working with him, he would say, we got this. We got this. And he would also say, too tough for most, just right for us.
He passed away in Mexico and had to obviously get back into Sonoma. So, so we got it lined up to have a motorcade, bring him back into town. We had probably over 100, 150 construction vehicles starting at Sears Point, running into Sonoma. It really blew the town of Sonoma up. Small little town, but had people out there waving, cheering us on. They knew what was going on. And he would probably be pissed that we weren't working. We took the day off for that. So I think that was a good way to bring him home.